each one of you, the participants who have decided to invest your time in participating in these webinars and interacting. So I'm personally very excited. So let me start with a presentation. So how excited are you for achieving your dream goals of life? How do you accomplish goals in life? If I think of imagining that today I'm going to fly an aeroplane, does it excite me? Yes, it does. But can I do it? I can't. So I really have to invest time and energy to do it. I really have to plan well. So, what has this year taught us? I think, we are all witnessing something which is paramount, like the pandemic, the kind of COVID-19, the scare, the kind of new words that has been coined, right from social distancing to contact tracing. These are going to stay in the dictionary for long. But what else is this year important for all of us? We don't want this 2020 to be a blank year for us. So we need to plan, we need to synergize, we need to interact, we need to network and create that kind of a bond so that we are able to utilize this time, which is otherwise we have and we are witnessing some amount of chaos. So what I would think that when we talk about career goals, like the fundamental competencies that you need to possess to achieve career success, what is very important is setting goals. Like, how do you do goal setting? One of the best ways that I want to tell you is that often people, why they do not achieve goals is not because they do not have the IQ, or they do not have the potential, or they have no experience. But more often than not, what happens is they don't have the focus. So I think it is very critical to have the right kind of focus and think of incremental steps. So if you want, many of you will remember how you learned to ride a bicycle. So you did it in incremental steps. So what you need to do similarly to accomplish your goals in life, your career goals, your career pathways, your dream jobs, is to improve incrementally. So I think it is critical that you need to think of designing a good framework how you will achieve your goals. So the very first thing is designing your life. If you have to think of a particular career that you have in mind, today we are talking about right from the field of, say, artificial intelligence to robotics, to cloud computing, to psychology, cyber science. There are so many career options that people have. If you look at today, especially in this pandemic, suddenly people have again being drawn to life sciences. People are looking at the aspect of how can I create a new vaccine. But it is important that is why plan and design your life in a sense that you're able to reach up to a good direction. So basically, what is the difference between a dream and a goal? So when you have a dream, is your aspiration, you want to do something, that's something that you want, that's something, the best that you want to happen to you. But how do you convert that dream into a goal? When you provide a direction, when you start interacting with your dream, when you start journaling your dream. So one of the research that has been carried out, it has seen that people who are able to journal what they want to do in life, the goals that they want to achieve, if you start writing down, chances are that to achieve those goals, there are more than 50% of the chances that you're able to achieve. And people who never, if you're like a wanderer, that you have never thought of a clear decision or a direction, so it becomes tough. So the very first thing is you have to design your life. What the kind of things that you'll be doing, what kind of network you'll be sharing. So that is the first step in your goal setting process. The second is, unless it is meaningful, the kind of career choices that you have, unless you have clear ambition that I need to clear a certain test, I need to take this particular examination, I need to get certain scores, it will not be easy to attain the goal. So what is second point which is very critical is, along with meaningfulness, that does that goal really excite you? What will happen when you achieve that goal? Suppose you want to learn a foreign language. Suppose you want to work in automobile and you think that if you want to go to do some program in Germany and you want to learn German. So it is a meaningful aim that you are keeping in front of you, that yes, if I'm learning German, possibly for my internship in Germany will become much easier. And the second and the third point, which is very interesting in this whole goal setting model that I'm sharing with you, is objective and key result. What is objective and key result? It is, objective is what? That I want to become a pilot is what? And your key result is how you are achieving it. So you are going into certain practice sessions, you are doing simulated understanding of how to become a pilot, you are studying enough, you are experiencing, you are talking to people, you're working on the machine, understand that how the automation happens. So all of that becomes, so basically objective and key result is extremely critical to set your goals. So what is your objective? Even if you want to become a civil servant, your key result would be the areas that you pick up, the subjects that you pick up, because civil services examination focuses a lot on knowledge, in-depth knowledge about certain core areas. So you need to really build on those areas. You need to understand and study and rehearse and do practice sessions. So your what is, I want to be a civil servant. How is your key result areas? So taking up practice tests, getting counseling, getting some kind of guidance, all of that. So remember that in a goal setting, along with design your life and meaningful and clear aims, you need to have object and key result, which is extremely critical. The second, third, fourth point is the sense of purpose. That it's fine. What is important is not just becoming a civil servant. What is the purpose in my life? What am I doing? Am I really interested in becoming a bureaucrat? Am I really going to work on policies for the country? Am I really going to go and talk to the masses? Because a civil servant is not just an office job. I'm going to interact with the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid. I'm going to work on policy documents. So remember, in your goal setting, which is very important, is you should have a very clear mission and a purpose. So that becomes your why. So you have a what, you have a how, and you have a why. And then this compelling sense of why, which means you should be passionate about it. That come what may, I'm going to dedicate so much time if I want to learn a new language. For example, if I want to go for a paragliding and I've never done it, how can I do it? Like I said before, you can take up incremental steps. A lot of people find it very difficult to read books, and you keep a big aim in front of you that I'm going to read at least 3 bestsellers in this next 2 weeks. So where is the major problem? Because you have not taken the incremental step to read part of the book. So what you can do is take up 2 paragraphs of the book, read, take a break, whatever you're doing, surfing the internet, going onto your Facebook, all of that you can still do. So slowly you're achieving, and it becomes reinforcing. So there is a compelling vision. And today you must be seeing the pandemic, the way the world is. So unless there is a business idea that you have, or you want to become an entrepreneur, but if you do not have the right kind of values, the terminal values, the beliefs that you have, so long, whatever your goals and aims are, should be for the good of the humanity. So that's where, you're going to get a lot of synergy. You'll have a lot of people who will come along with you and work with you. So the values would become a very integral part of your goal setting. Then you look at chance versus luck. What is a chance? Chance is like gambling. I just win a lottery ticket. So it is by chance. But if people work on chance, you cannot have a great goal. You cannot become a winner. You cannot become successful. But what is luck? Luck is something that there are different opportunities coming your way, including such webinars, and you take part, and law of averages work. So if you keep constantly trying to reach out to for a certain job or for a certain career, because you're doing it so many times, you become good at it, and you are also lucky. You get an opportunity. It is possible that suddenly a dream company opens up an online internship for you now. So you're lucky, so you are getting an opportunity to work with that company. So this is how you constantly keep doing what you want to do. And like, I want to sum up this goal setting by saying that what do you do with what you have? So basically, you may have a lot of talent, you may have a lot of experience, knowledge, because I believe that IQ is something that you're born with. Experiences, that is what you are able to gather. But what is innovation is when you are able to use what you have, when you're able to do the things that you're capable of doing, taking that kind of plunge, having that kind of passion is what is very critical. So this is your very first way that you are able to set up a goal. So I would want each one of you to think of a dream job or a dream career. Suppose somebody today sitting here must be thinking that today I wish I could become a CEO of a great company and lead that particular company. So remember, start with journaling, do all of this, and then you will be very close to the next steps. Again, when you talk about competencies, that it is important that you have to have a goal setting. But what are the kind of competencies that you need to possess? It is said that competencies are made up of knowledge, skills, and abilities. And today, what is most important alongside abilities are the attitude. So you need to imbibe in all of that. So remember, whatever you are aiming at, technical skills are paramount. So if you want to become a computer wizard, you definitely need to know the languages. Today people they say if you can't do anything, please do analytics. So whatever you do, even a marketing professional is doing analytics. So it is important to get into the technical skills. So it is important to learn those languages or a software or the kind of processes which are very important. So sound knowledge in that area will come from your technical skills. Then communication, because today also if you see we are at a distance, I'm not able, I love seeing the youth around. So because I'm used to meeting, taking interactive sessions in person. Today I know there are people in the audience, but I'm not able to see. But what you need to do is clearly communicate. So you have to interact with the people, whether it is online or offline, whether they are your group, whether they are your teammates, whether they are your professors, whether they are people in the industry. You need to constantly communicate. So create groups, create synergistic teams through which you can create that kind of communication around you. Then what is very important is not just communicating your ideas, because a lot of time when entrepreneurs have big dreams, they have ideas. So unless you collaborate with the right kind of people, you will not be able to bring those ideas onto the table. And that is another very important competency. Apart from that who other than you all, because you are in a zone where you have come in at a post-knowledge economy, and we have moved into an innovative economy. The economy of innovation, constantly changing. It's not rapid change, it is not constant change, it's transformational change. Sometimes it's devastating change. Like what we are seeing today, we could never have imagined. If somebody calls you and tells you, please come, let's go for some kind of a vacation, you'll say, no, sorry, I do not have leaves, or I'm not able to miss out my college. But look at us, we are all today locked down. So how do you manage this kind of crisis around you? So that is important. So this is another core and key competency that you need to possess, that how do you manage the chaos around you? Because if you are creating a lot of worry, it will not going to help. So managing this change is very critical. So today you are working from home, people are working from, even young children are working on online assignments from school. You have changed the way you're working. You have changed the way the household looks like. So that is very critical. Then you can think of bigger changes in the organization where automation comes up. where new machinery comes in, new technology comes in. So then you have a mindset to change. And of course, to do that, what is very important is the critical thinking, because unless you are able to identify a problem, there is a problem, you need to analyze it. You need to resolve a problem. Only then you will be able to come out with solutions in an organization. Be it an assignment that you're working on, be it a marketing project that's you're picked up, or it could be even what is becoming very important these days is also social entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is not just a general startup, but when you start up with social entrepreneurship, there is a lot of need for critical thinking. And finally, you look at what will come and which is there. So right from the child, do you all remember that you played with those puzzles where you would work on word Scrabble? There's so many games that you work on. So keep that creativity alive. That will let you really make good decisions. That will enable you. These are your key core competencies that are very important. So you need to be a good problem solver. You need to be able to manage the chaos around you. And then with that, I will take you to another group of very important behavioral competencies. All the competencies that you saw earlier, which are the foundation, are very important, that you must be reading a lot about. But remember, but at the core, the behavioral competencies actually drive you. So when you look at behavioral competencies, which is key to success, so if you look at these behavioral competencies, at the core is your optimism. That belief that you're able to achieve your goals, the belief that you're able to do things and create meaningful goals, reach to your target, ability to be more resilient, the ability to create that network. So what all comprises of this? The relationship network. So who are your network right now? In your journaling that you do on a regular basis, when you maintain and find out who is your network. So what is a very important suggestion, especially to youth, is please look at your network. So constantly you will have people whom you meet, whom you are able to connect with. So it is important to choose the right network. This network could comprise of people who are experts in a different field. You want to learn animation. So you have an expert in animation. You can have an expert from the industry, and then you can have a peer group of network. Then you move on to engagement, that how much dedicated and involved are you in the work that you're doing. Then at the end, because we are talking about optimism, it is also your positive emotion. At any point in time, why do you want to become low if you're not achieving small targets? So you always constantly maintain a positive emotion around you. So interact, read good books, talk to people who are more learned. You will always get that kind of energy. It also comes from the people around you, the family, the peer group, the friends that you have. And as I said, that meaningfulness is important in your goal setting. So here meaningfulness also contributes to the spirit of optimism. And finally, for everything that you do, a small game that you win, there should be a sense of accomplishment. So please pat on your back every time you achieve certain goals and targets. So in the nutshell, what I can tell you is it is important to have not only those fundamental clear competencies, technical skills, but it's extremely important that how you will do it is because of your behavioral competencies and your belief. And finally, you will be very close to the success that you will have. So I think, which is very critical, that in order to achieve your career goals, whether it is getting into a new program or getting into a certain dream job, it is very important to plan, to execute that plan and believe in your goals. Now I'm open to questions, so you can post your question. some of you who would like to ask that, what if I meet with a failure? I think the best way is to try again, get up and run. So it is important that you go take the right guidance. Like I mentioned to you, that you need to equip yourself with the technical skills. You need to equip yourself with the right kind of network that you have. So if you are needing help, you will be able to interact. You will be able to come out with a good solution. So it is very important to get that kind of understanding. Looking at the emotion that you possess is your own emotion. The moment you will let the environment affect you, you are losing control. So it is very important not to lose control and look at solutions. You need to address the solution, the problem. So you need to be very, very strong emotionally. Somebody's talked about, Atul I think is asking the question that how do you keep dedicated for your own aim? Well, like I said, that you need to do a good thinking that what you really want to do. That if your aim is, are you passionate about it? Or you've heard somebody that, it's great to play piano and I too want to learn piano. You will be only passionate about it, only then you want to achieve it. So you need to be very clear about your ambitious goal. There is another interesting question. Somebody is asking that how to decide which course is best for me. So, Born, I'm not aware of your background, but what I suggest is it's important to take some of those areas that you are in, that if you are, suppose you are from a background of management and you want to take up a higher degree in management, so you need to see that whether you possess some of the skills. There are a lot of psychometric assessments which are there. For example, even at the university, we do counseling sessions where, we are helping students, guiding them in order to take certain understanding of our own competencies. But for that, it is important to know your background. Shireen is asking, ma'am, can we take 2 careers simultaneously? It is a great question, I think. What is happening today is that people are looking at, because things are changing so fast, a lot of entrepreneurs don't start at 50, they start much earlier. So it is important to understand first what you're good at. You have to build your career. So it is good to have something similar. You can't be doing something which is completely different. So if you're in an entertainment industry and tomorrow you want to start up another entertainment firm, it is understandable. Or you are a practicing lawyer and you want to start up a law firm. So they are quite, similar and parallel. So you can definitely have 2 kinds of career that you can think at simultaneously. Then there are many questions coming in. I may miss out a few questions, but you can write to me at my email ID that has been provided at Padmakali, PADMAKALI @ggn.amity.edu. And the next question is, Mrinal, I could not find the job I wish to have, and I grew up one second, let me just clearly read your, when I would grow up in the, okay, great. You are saying that when you grow up, you may not think the kind of job that you are dreaming about, that kind of job may not happen later on. So, the nature of work is changing. But let me tell you, there are great opportunities coming. It's not like that if I'm missing you're not missing the bus at all. Only thing that you have to constantly do is improve yourself. If you keep acquiring new skills, you'll never be redundant. So today you may be having a dream job, but tomorrow by the time there is a new industry coming in and your skills will be utilized. But definitely today people are saying that some of the skills are becoming very important. Like I mentioned, apart from your technical skills, your communication skills, your analytical skills, your little bit of programming, I think everybody should know. So even a student who wants to today get into the e-commerce, they need to understand how they want to work. I would suggest that even small things like creating a presentation or learning a little bit of animation, everybody should do it. And especially the youth, There is so much of online resources available, which are all free, information available. Most of you can do that. That will be very useful. I hope a lot of people have written hello ma'am, but I have not major questions. So let me just see.
Ma'am,
there's a question. Yeah,
I am not supported by the people around me. How do I motivate myself?
okay. So the question, I mean, like I said that when you say there was similar question that if people don't care for you, don't regard you, because remember this is your own life, that even if there are problems around you, you have to look for solution. So don't look at, you have to be independent. If you are passing out of a K-12 school, from then on, I will talk about the early life where there is parents, you have a much more protected environment, especially in an Indian system and a culture that we are in. We are more in a collective society. We are not in an individualistic society like the US. But slowly what is happening is, as we are growing, the fast pace of technology, nuclear families, you're going to be alone. So you have to be more independent so that you're able to really develop your goals. So you don't need that much of support. You will definitely get professional advice from people who are good to you. So that's why I told you that please create a network of people other than maybe just your family. So who would be able to guide you well?
Thank you. The next question is pursuing a career in arts is a wise decision?
It's amazing, you are thinking about the way things are. Even today when we are talking about artificial intelligence, it is coming out of a lot of things that is happening in our culture today. So when you do art, from arts you can get into even journalism. From arts you can, if you're talking about art as in fine art, you can get into the visual graphics, you can get into application of art. So I think that's a great field. So if you're talking about doing fine arts, it's a whole lot of plethora of knowledge available. And if you want to get into the art stream, whether you want to do sociology, or if you want to do, say for example, public policy is coming up in a big way. So people after doing a graduation move on to a course in public policy. So there are lots of opportunity. Political science, arts, a lot of art students get into civil services. Later on they prepare well in that course and they work on and get onto the civil services platform.
Yeah, thank you. The next question is, what values does goal setting mean?
What values
does goal settings mean? I think
I think you're talking about values that was part of the goal setting. In the very first slide that I had used, the second slide where I was talking about one of the values of your is goal setting. In the values is the values is part of your goal setting. What I mean by that we are all born onto this planet with a purpose. We have to be good to the society, we have to be good to your family. So unless you have those values ingrained, for example, at the university, say, I tell my students that what are your sanskars, that India, there are a lot of strong values, caring for your family, having a sense of discipline, so these are very important things. So you could have your life goals, so it becomes very important as part of your goal setting. So unless you are value oriented, you cannot do something. Have you ever seen a person who is becoming very successful who does not have good values? You cannot become a great success. Can you think of Steve Jobs not possessing good values? Can you think of Vivekananda doing what he has done without values? Can you think of Rabindranath Tagore getting, award and becoming a Nobel laureate without values? So values is at the core.
How do I control my emotions at failure? How can I motivate myself to try?
I answered this. I've answered the failure question.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one.
Then is this one question? Something.
What do you think is the better for student pursuing Master of Social Work in Community Development?
Now slowly, these different job roles are getting together, because, community work, because if you look at today what is happening, this is a very good time that you asked me this question, that what are the most important thing that we are needing right now during this pandemic are not just the doctors or the police personnel. We are needing lot of social workers who understand and work with the community. For example, health, hygiene, awareness. It is very important to make the community aware. So whenever there are disasters, for example, when HIV awareness, all that was done by the social workers. If you look at the way today India is moving, because we are moving into an maybe 2020, 2030, India will become one of the superpowers. So how will we do it? So there would be a lot of requirement of people who would be coming out with good policies related into the field of social work. And you work together with psychologists, you work with the management experts, and you become very critical so in the public domain. So a lot of government avenues are there where you can work on both with the government, you can work with the municipality, you can work with hospitals, you can work corporates today. It's very important for them to have a particular portfolio in this area as well.
This is an interesting question. People think there is no financial stability in the career on the grounds of arts or music. So is it okay to pursue these type of career?
Very interesting question. I have this morning I was interacting with Padma Shri Dr. Shobna Narayan. She's a bureaucrat, and then she went for her passion of a Kathak dance. And if you ask me, that she never gave up her pursuit for dance because she was so good. From the age of, I think, 7 or 8, she started. At the age of 3, I think, she started dancing, and she could do both so well. So who said that through art you cannot? I'm sure she's earned a lot, not only Padma Shri, but all kinds of respect from society. And through artists today, I know each of the work that they're going international. Many of my students, even in applied arts, they are working for the best of the companies. They are designing, not only just designing logos, but the entire theme. Even today, as I speak, my presentation, my slides have been designed by an artist, because that's how you need to communicate.
Thank you, ma'am. Hopefully this will be the last question because we are short of time now. What does failure means to you?
For me, failure is opening up a new opportunity, another new door. Like I said, that law of averages suggests that what you keep doing, you achieve it. So 5 times you're not able to do it, you don't give up. Otherwise, Wright brothers wouldn't have been successful. Or, when Steve Jobs was not able to launch anything, after learning calligraphy, he set up such a big company, the Apple company. So it's very important to, not give up. I think that is the great attitude, and that attitude will take you forward. And if you look at when I've talked about the behavioral competencies, that is what behavioral competencies, you have to be optimistic about what you can do in life. So this will take you, this will drive you. So it is nothing but your OQ, which is your optimistic quotient. So we have been talking about IQ a lot, we have been talking about EQ, but OQ is actually a driving force that lets you accomplish the goals that you want in life.
We have been bombarded with a number of questions.
Somebody is asking about, does money define success? Yes, this is Harshita. Yeah. Harshika is asked, does money define success? Yes, it does define success, but where has that person come from? So in one day, nobody becomes wealthy. Money defines that what the person has done has been good for the society. Whatever work you do should be valuable to the society. So definitely it is one of the measures of success. There are many questions, but as I told you, I have given my email ID to you in case you have any burning question that you want to reach out. So you can again note down, my email ID is Padmakali, PADMAKALI @ggn.amity.edu. So you have my name already here. So my first name @ggn.amity.edu. So I want to be at this last slide, and please look at the slide, each one of you. And it's something like at the end of the session, what we all need to do is that we need to take some pledge that we all have to be, in some way, all of you have to be successful. So in order to be successful, in order to reach where you want to reach, your career goals. You need to have your goals setting so that you know what you want to do, what, why, and how. You need to have a clear understanding of the technical and the other knowledge that I talked about, critical thinking, knowledge, your skills that are very important, problem solving, critical ideas that you need to do, you need to synergize, and finally your ability to sustain. Because today we are in a very volatile world, so you need to sustain. So have a belief in yourself, and that's how you'll be successful. So that's how, please build on your competencies. And it is very simple to accomplish your major goals. Please look at your incremental goals. Small goals, set it in front of you. And once you achieve that goal, go to the next level. So that's how you will be very successful. And I wish each one of you a lot of success. And I hope during these for few more weeks of this lockdown, you will be able to utilize your time well. And wish you all good health and happiness. Thank you very much.